Good morning, children. I am Mrs. Sithara, your social science teacher. In today's session, we are going to learn 7th Standard History, Unit 4, the Delhi Sultanate, Part 3. Come, children, let us learn. Before starting today's session, let us have a recap of what we learned in the last two sessions. In the last two sessions, we discussed about the general introduction of the unit, the slave dynasty. It started with Qutbuddin Aibak, who after the death of Muhammad Ghori proclaimed himself as a ruler of the Turkish territories in India. The dynasty is also called as a Mamluk dynasty. Aibak was active all through his rule in Delhi, conquering new territories and suppressing rebellions. He led military campaigns to the central and western Indo-Gangetic plain. He built the Quwwatul Islam Masjid, the oldest in India. He laid the foundation of the Qutb Minar, but he was not able to complete it. It was completed by his son-in-law and successor, Iltutmish. He organized the Turkish nobility men into a select group of 40 nobles known as the 40. Iltutmish was succeeded by Razia, who was the first woman ruler of the Delhi Sultanate. She was an able and a brave fighter. She was murdered in 1240. She was succeeded by Ghiyasuddin Balban after 3 weak rulers in succession. Balban was able to abolish the 40 as it was hostile to him. He established a department of spies. Even though he was ruthless in dealing with his enemies, he was cordial with the Mongols. He patronized the famous Persian poet Amir Khusro. He was succeeded by Quaiqbad, who appointed Jalaluddin Firuz Khalji as the commander of the army. Khilji assassinated Quaiqbad and assumed power, thus ending the Mamluk dynasty and starting the Khilji dynasty. Now we will learn about the Khilji dynasty. It was a Muslim dynasty which ruled on the Delhi Sultanate, covering large parts of Indian subcontinent for nearly 3 decades between 1290 and 1320. It came into power through a revolution that marked the transfer of power from the Turkish nobles to a heterogeneous Indo-Musalman nobility. Its rule is known for the conquest into the present-day South India and successfully defending off the repeated Mongol invasion of India. You can see in the map the territory controlled by the Khiljis in dark green color. The Khiljis were vassals of the Mamluk dynasty of Delhi and served the Sultan of Delhi, Ghiyasuddin Balban. Jalaluddin Khalji. Khilji was around 70 years old at the time of his ascension, was known as a mild-mannered, humble and kind monarch to general public. On the picture you can find a hunting party of the Sultan. You can also find the Kohinoor diamond that was seized by Alauddin Khilji's army in 1310 from the Kakatiya dynasty in the Warangal. You know, children, Kohinoor is the largest cut diamonds in the world. It weighs around 105.6 carats. Very unfortunately, it is part of the British crown jewels. It was a part of the Mughal peacock throne. Now we will learn about Jalaluddin Khalji. There were many military campaigns during the reign of Jalaluddin, but they were mostly organized and led by his nephew Alauddin, the governor of Kara. He raided many cities in the northern side. One significantly military expedition was against the Deccan kingdom Devagiri. Alauddin, after defeating the Yadava king Ramachandra, plundered the city and returned with huge wealth. Ramachandra was a ruler of the Yadava dynasty of the Deccan region in India. He expanded his kingdom by fighting his Hindu neighbors such as the Paramaras, Vaghelas, Hoysalas and the Kakatiyas. In 1296, Alauddin Khilji, the governor of the Kara province of Delhi Sultanate, raided Devagiri. Alauddin treacherously killed Jalaluddin by buying off the prominent nobles and important commanders with the wealth he had brought from the Deccan, and declared himself as a Sultan of Delhi in 1296. Alauddin Khilji consolidated the Delhi Sultanate. The word is consolidated, Consolidated, consolidated. Consolidated means brought together into a single thing, or unite and combine. So he combined the Delhi Sultanate. The range of his conquest is impressive. In the Punjab against the Mongols, in Rajasthan and in Gujarat, he was able to conquer the Punjab against the Mongols. Mongols were attacking it. He was able to conquer that. Rajasthan and also in Gujarat. He raided the Deccan Peninsula and Devagiri, the capital state of Maharashtra, and looted their treasures. With his northern frontier secure, he sent his chief lieutenant Malik Gafur into the southern parts, who took even the distant Madurai in 1310. So not only in North India, his conquest continued towards the south side. Even he was able to conquer the Madura in 1310. The Yadavas of Devagiri, Kakatiyas of Warangal, Hoysalas of Dwarasamudra, Pandyas of Madurai accepted Alauddin's suzerainty. Learn the word, children. Suzerainty. Suzerainty. That is, a tributary state is independent. So Yadavas of Devagiri, Kakatiyas of Warangal, Hoysalas of Dwarasamudra, and even the Pandyas of Madurai accepted Alauddin's suzerainty. Children, the Mewar region in the northwestern India was ruled by the Guhila dynasty, whose seat was located at the Chittoor fort. They ruled from the Chittoor fort. And ruler Alauddin Khilji captured the Chittoor fort from Guhila king Ratna Simha after an 8-month-long siege. And in that battle, the Rani and her entire set of women, the wives of generals and soldiers, sent their children into hiding with loyal retainers. Then they dressed up in their wedding dress and bid farewell, entered the Mahal and performed Jauhar. Jauhar is mass self-immolation by women. And the men in that place went and fought till they are dead. And the picture shows the Chittoor fort and the act of Jauhar. Sack of Chittoor. When Alauddin's army, overwhelmed by the Rajput army in Chittoor and the context of threat of defeat, the men and women of the fortress, in accordance with their old customs, performed the rite of Jauhar. According to this custom, left with no other way to survive, the men would go out and die in the battlefield, and women would burn themselves on a pyre. Now we will see the political and administrative reforms of Khilji. Alauddin's political and administrative reforms were as impressive as his military conquest. He was a good administrator as well. Alauddin undertook a survey of the agrarian resource. Learn the word agrarian. A-G-R-A-R-I-A-N. Agrarian. Agrarian is relating to cultivated land or cultivation of the land. It is agricultural area or farming. So he had a survey of the agricultural land around his capital and fixed a standard revenue demand. And based on the survey, he fixed a revenue from that. Revenue is an income. Based on the survey, he fixed an income for that. And he entrusted the task of collecting the revenue to the military officers. The military officers had to collect the revenue. This measure deprived the local chiefs and rajas of their time memorial privilege. The local chiefs and the raja had to give up their privilege, time immemorial privilege to collect the taxes, as it was given to the military officers. The tax collection was the duty of local chiefs and rajas, but when he allotted the military officers to do the revenue collection, then they were deprived of their privileges. Alauddin established a system of forced procurement of food grains. Learn the word, children. Procurement. P-R-O-C-U-R-E-M-E-N-T. Procurement. Procurement is the act of obtaining goods for business purposes. It is a method of strategically doing it, like negotiating and planning. For Delhi as well as other garrison centers. Garrison centers are place where there is a troop of soldiers where they are stationed. So he had a system of collecting the food grains by compulsion in Delhi as well as in the various garrison centers which he had. The procurement prices were fixed. The prices of the procurement were fixed, and grains collected as tax was stored in state granaries. Granary, G-R-A-N-A-R-Y, granary. Granary is a storehouse or a room in which the grains are stored. So there were granaries, state granaries, to store the food grains which are collected as tax. In order to ensure the enforcement of his new regulations, he employed spies. A spy is a person who will get secret or confidential information without the permission of the holder of the information. That is the meaning of a spy. So he had the spies, or people who will get information secretly, who were responsible to report to him directly. So they reported to the king directly about the enforcement of his regulations. So children, there was a forced system of procuring the food grains, and it was stored in granaries, and there were spies who could gather information for him. Alauddin passed away on the night January 4th, 1316. He was murdered by Kafur, who was his slave general Malik Kafur, the de facto ruler of the Sultanate, who was promoted to the rank of viceroy. The failure of his successors to retain power led to the seizure of power by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, who founded the Tughlaq dynasty. The picture shows the Alauddin's Madrasa, Qutb complex, which also has his tomb to the south side. The tomb is also shown in the picture. Children, historians record him as one of the greatest kings of his time, as he held vast territories and commanded a formidable army. From a barbaric king to one of the most efficient administrators, he earned all the adjectives by the chroniclers. It is said that Alauddin's reign was glorious, and in spite of many absurd and oppressive measures, he was a successful monarch and exhibited a just exercise of his power. Children, his empire expanded to the vast areas of the Indian subcontinent, including Gujarat, Ranthambore, Jalore, Mewar, Warangal, Malabar, and Madurai. The map also shows the empire of Alauddin Khilji. Before we wind up today's session, children, let us have a recap of what we learned today. We learned about the Khilji dynasty. We learned about the Jalauddin Khilji. His significant military expedition was against the Deccan kingdom Devagiri. He defeated Yadava king Ramachandra and plundered the city and returned with huge wealth. He was treacherously killed by Alauddin. Alauddin Khilji consolidated the Delhi Sultanate. He was able to defeat Yadavas of Devagiri, Kakatiyas of Warangal, Hoysalas of Dwarasamudra, and even Pandyas of Madurai. He was able to even sack the Chittoor and loot his people. He fixed a standard revenue, and the task of collecting the revenue was to the military officers. The grains collected as tax were stored in granaries, and there were spies to report about his enforcement of laws. He passed away in 1316. The failure of his successors to retain power led to the seizure of power by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, who founded the Tughlaq dynasty. With this, we come to the end of today's session, my dear children. Thank you for watching the class, my dear children. Stay blessed.